जी गुड इवनिंग। आज हम बात करेंगे रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन पे और अंडर द हुड हाउ दे वर्क इन पाइथन। आज की हमारी डिस्कशन में हमारे साथ हमें ज्वाइन किया अब्दुल्ला, अब्दुल रहमान और शादिल ने। बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस लेक्चर आप लोग खुद से अपनी रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन लिख लोगे एंड देन यू विल सी के हाउ यू कैन राइट दैट इन अ पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज लाइक पाइथन, बिकॉज रेगुलर लैंग्वेजेस दे आर general, and to make it work, make those work in Python, you have to learn a little bit about Python modules, the RE module specifically. And then हम ये भी देखेंगे कि आपकी regular expressions basically वो under the hood काम कैसे करती हैं और what's a simple implementation looks like. So what are regular expressions? Suppose कि आपके पास 10,000 lines of text आपके पास file है and then you need to find every phone number and उसका general pattern looks like something like this. We know that it's 4 digits and then you have a dash and then you have 7 digits. So how would you write code to extract all the 4 numbers with the present knowledge जो कि अभी तक हमने किया?
एक तरह से if your number is उस चीज जगह पे then we will just like take it out if case के through.
No, but how? Let's say you have a big huge string of 10,000 characters. Actually that's not the case. Let's say एक line के अंदर आपके पास 100 characters हैं और आपके पास 10,000 lines हैं, that makes 100,000 characters of text. So 100,000 characters of text में how would you extract all the 4 numbers?
अगर कोई करेक्टर डिजिट बनता है तो लाइक स्टार्टिंग विद 0 बिकॉज नंबर 0 से स्टार्ट होता है, देन आई
Yeah.
वुड चेक उसके अगले 10 जो हैं वो सेम क्राइटेरिया में मैच करते हैं, लाइक सेकंड करेक्टर भी डिजिट होना चाहिए, थर्ड डिजिट होना चाहिए एंड सो ऑन विद द डैश.
So how would you do that? It's going to be a big nested 10 ifs. So if your first match is a digit, then uske andar nested if, the second is also if, then again the third nested if, the third one is also digit and so on. Is that the approach? Sure, you can do that, but but अगर ये digits for example अगर ज़्यादा हुए, it's 30 digit password अगर हमने या 30 digit code हमने करना है search, so that's going to be really a messy code to find this. So regular expression, exactly what it is, it's just a pattern which describes the thing that we want to search in a string. So given a pattern which looks like something like this, which we'll talk about, and then given a string, so both of these things go into something called an engine, which is a piece of code. And then that engine matches the pattern and spits out all of the substrings from that string that matches these patterns. So this is just a preview. Okay, this is one of the patterns, that what it looks like, and we'll explain what this represents. So let's go to a site that's called Regex. It's a site where you can play with regular expressions. So here I've pasted a piece of text that you can use. So अगर pattern आपने कोई search करना है, one of the simplest patterns are exact little characters. For example, I want to search pizza. I just keep on start typing the actual characters, P-I-Z-Z-A. So it's going to match all the instances of pizza in the text and it's going to return that. Right. Another thing, अगर आपने exact phone number match करना है, यहाँ पे for example 0321, let's say हमारे पास है कि मैं ढूंढना चाह रहा हूँ एक दोस्त का नंबर याद आया, I want to see whether that's present in the text or not. I can simply type 0321 like 5644478. It's just a random made up number, and it gave that back, right? Interface के अंदर there's one thing कि यहाँ पे you have something called a flavor. So basically this regular expression is now running on a PHP backend. So you can just simply select Python from there. So now this regular expression is going to run on Python engine, Python modules, जो कि हम use करेंगे.
इनका कोई फर्क होता है?
Yes, इनका फर्क है. वो हम lecture के end पे आप specifically एक example देखेंगे which is going to show you the difference between these engines specifically. And how do we find hashtag FCU 2026? Can you write a regular expression?
Well, हम hashtag, then we type FCCU in capital, a dash and 2026.
Hashtag TV, this is just hard coded, right? FCU 2026, and it gave us a hashtag back. Let's say हम देखना चाहते हैं कि what hashtags begin with FCU. So it found two instances basically. एक तो है FCU CS department hashtag और दूसरा है 2026. So again, these are hard coded and not very general. This is basically literals. You just type, the pattern is actually the literal that you want to find in this the substring, and that's going to return जहाँ जहाँ पे भी cat है वो सारे cat के instances आपको दे देगा. Please note that the case does matter. Cat small cat is not going to match capital C and small at. But what if we want to find some interesting things, like we don't want to find a specific phone number or a specific hashtag. We instead want to find all possible phone numbers. हम एक general pattern देंगे, like phone number में आपको पता है कि पहले 3 या पहले 4 digits, पहले 4 characters are digits, and then you have a dash, and then you have 7 digits. So we want to find this general pattern in the entire code, in the entire text. उसके लिए there is something called metacharacters. So metacharacters are special characters. Dot is a metacharacter in a regular expression, which means any single character. Slash D, this is backslash. So when you combine the backslash with a character, it becomes a meta character. Slash D means you're talking about any digit between 0 and 9. Slash W means any valid character that could appear in a valid word, for example. जिस तरह आपके variable names होते हैं. Variable names में actually आप digits भी डाल सकते हैं, but English characters में you cannot have digits. You can only have letters and digit. Oh, you can have digits. So this is probably talking about the variables here. And then you have white space. White space is anything. It could be, space bar, it could be tab, and it could be new line. It could be slash R, which is not very popular these days, but it was cartridge return back in the days. So for example, when you type C.D, let me actually show you an example on Regex. So if we type N, so it's going to match all N's in the entire text. But when we type dot, so N followed by any character. So आप देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे now it's returning N, O, NT, N space, NTs, and so on. And then we type N, any character, and W, and then it's going to return 2 words, basically, now and new, right? And what if we want to see 2-digit numbers? This is basically a space, so this is going to find all spaces, followed by a single digit, \D, followed by another single digit, \T. अब आप देख रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे there are strings which 2-digit numbers which are part of a bigger number, but we don't want that. We just want 2 isolated digits. So यहाँ पे what we could do is \S, यानी कि इसके बाद में space आनी चाहिए, but we don't have such number here. What we have is there is a comma, some 2 digits के बाद there is a dot there. So for the time being हम देखें कि आप comma और dot जब आता है तो दोनों वालों को आपने किस तरह से get करना है, but let's say हम सिर्फ comma वाले को get करते हैं, तो it's going to give you \S, \T, followed by comma. It's going to give you these 2 numbers, 2-digit numbers. And then how do we find a phone number? D.
What we can do is like 4 times \D.
Sure. So
A
it's going to
dash.
give you 4 digits and then a dash. It's already
And then
looking like, yeah. And then,
But 7 times more /D.
so यहाँ पे आपने देखा कि आपने 4 digits के बाद dash डाला तो उसने एक 1/2 का piece भी आपको दे दिया. But we all want 4 numbers, right? So then we have to put 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. These 4 numbers, basically. These are 3, 4 numbers, all possible 4 numbers that you got using this regular expression. So this is a general regular expression. This is a text which goes into the engine, and then the engine spits out these 3 numbers as a result. Okay, G, you try. Any 3-character sequence starting with B and ending with T.
B.T कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो सिर्फ 3 characters आएंगे.
Any 3-character sequence.
Then we could do B.T.
Sure. And that's the answer, B.T. So B.T, that's the pattern. We do not have to match boot because that's 4 characters, not 3. And we don't have to match cat because that doesn't start with B. अगर आपको सिर्फ numbers चाहिए, like B followed by a number and then you followed by a T, then how do you modify this pattern?
/D लिखा देंगे dot की जगह.
B/, exactly. That's correct. Quantifier means how many. Meta characters, they're talking about one single character. Quantifier, they talk about how many characters that you can put there. There's a quantifier called plus, which means there could be 1 or more characters. Star means there could be 0 or more characters there. question mark means that's an optional one. So यहाँ पे, for example, if we type \d, it's going to give us single digit numbers, of course. But if we put plus in front, then what's that going to give us?
Like इसके बाद अगर हम प्लस लगाते हैं then
Yeah.
like there could be one digit or more digits.
Yeah, it's going to give us all of the numbers with length at least 1, right? Something like this. So ये सारे के सारे digits आपके पास आ जाएंगे. And what if you type LOL? There is no match, but I can see LOL here. This one, LO and then plus. So यहाँ पे इसने 2 digits हमें ये 2 matches क्यों दिखाए हैं?
Because वो follow के अंदर भी LO एक substring बनती है.
What if you want to find the smiley faces? Please keep in mind that the smiley faces, they look like this without a nose, and they could also have a nose. Again, we are not talking about the frowning faces. We are only talking about the smiley faces, which means that the nose is optional part here. How do you find all possible smiley faces? Let's say we put a smiley face here with the nose. Okay. अगर हम करते हैं smiley face, it's going to give us error because this parentheses is one of the special characters. You cannot use it as a pattern. अगर आपको parentheses literally use करना है, then you have to put a backslash there.
सर वहाँ शुरू में L लिखा हुआ है.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Right? So that's how you get the smiley. But we missed the smiley with the nose, without the nose. If you
Asterisks
delete the
लगा दो.
nose, smiley के nose के साथ asterisk लगा दें. Yeah, sure. How about if I put a question mark there? Which means that now the minus sign is optional. So it's going to match this column. It's going to optionally match minus. अगर है तो ठीक है, नहीं है तभी ठीक है, फिर आगे चला जाएगा, and then it's going to match the bracket. What if we want to match the pizzas? So this is a pizza, this is a pizza, this is a pizza with a lot of exclamation marks. And that's a pizza. But, the case is different, which we'll talk about shortly, so you can ignore that. Small case pizzas हमने match करने, तो how do we do that? With the exclamation marks.
We could do pizza and then like add question mark.
अगर आप यहाँ question mark add करोगे, तो it's going to find basically this.
Okay, like exclamation
Pizza
mark
and
लगा के हमें
pits.
question mark लगाना है.
अगर आप exclamation mark लगाओगे एक, so it's going to find a pizza which has a question one exclamation mark, and then it's going to find instances जिसके साथ exclamation marks नहीं आ रहे. But this is not the entire thing that you want. You want the pizza with all of its exclamation marks. So you have to put 1 or more, 0 or more exclamation marks. Star means that this character can repeat 0 or more times.
Okay.
Right? So यहाँ पे अगर आप exclamation marks को increase भी कर देंगे, तो it's going to still give you that thing back. And since you're doing 0 or more, it's going to return the pizza and pizza without the exclamation mark. अगर यहाँ पे हम इसको plus में convert करते हैं, तो it requires 1 or more. So now in this case, it's going to return all the pizzas with definitely at least 1 exclamation mark along with it. And what does this do? YE plus S plus. It matches, जिस तरह कि अगर आपने yes लिखे and then you type YESSS to emphasize yes, or even if you want to emphasize it a lot more, then Y lots of E's and then lots of S's, it matches all of that in order. Character classes, basically, so instead of giving a general category like let's say /D, you can redefine and you can create your own classes. So for example, when you begin with the square bracket and end with the square bracket and you put a bunch of characters in that, it means कि एक single character के अंदर these are the options that you can pick from. When you have a dash in between, it means this is a range, and this is not a minus sign, this is not a literal. अगर आप minus sign को square brackets के अंदर डालेंगे, तो that meaning is going to change. And now in this case, this is going to become a range. Similarly, this is a range from 0 to 9 digits, and you can combine these together also to form other patterns. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say now in this case you want to find a double digit, or आपको याद है कि double digit के end पे you can have a comma, or you can also have a dot there, or you can potentially have a space there. How do you find all these double digits which are like isolated? उसके आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं है, सिवाय punctuation के. So you start as before. /s is going to give you the break, जहाँ से double digit आपने शुरू करना है, and then you can have double digit, and then you have options basically. So you can, this is a character class. यहाँ पे आप डाल सकते हो comma. यहाँ पे it could be a dot. अब ये देखें dot का meaning change हो गया when you're putting it inside these square brackets. So dot square brackets के बाहर means it could be any character. But square brackets के अंदर it is actually literal. इन दोनों characters में से कोई भी character आएगा तो it's going to match. So it's matching space and then 2 digits and then any punctuation. So यहाँ पे we could also write space, then it's going to also give us 99. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Negation, basically you're saying here कि anything, it's a caret and it must go inside the bracket. Actually, it can go two places. If it goes inside the bracket, the square bracket, it means that you're you want to get all of the digits that are not 0 to 9. Anything is except the digit, right? For example, let me show you so यहाँ पे what you could do is you could put anything that is not a digit. So that's how you can isolate. So यहाँ पे कोई भी digit, like कोई भी और character आ सकता है apart from that digit, then that means that you're going to display 2 digits there, something like this.
सर इसके अंदर negation /w लिख सकते हैं?
जी बिल्कुल आप लिख सकते हैं. So this is /t. एक मिनट है भाई. 75. And you can also say /w. बिल्कुल ठीक है. So any character that is inside the square brackets, it's going to ignore that. Digit के अलावा और word character के अलावा कुछ भी होगा, then it's going to match. It's going to punctuation या फिर any other special characters. Yeah. So these are the examples. Again, जितनी मर्जी आपकी square brackets के अंदर लंबी expression हो, this is matching a single letter or a single digit. Like एक single character को ये match करेगा. Please keep that in mind. It's not going to match. It's not an entire part of a pattern. It's just matching one single character. So this BCR means that it matches pick one character from here and combine with 80, and then pick another character from there, combine with 80, and pick one character from here and then combine with 80. And if any of these texts they appear in the string, it's going to return these. So similarly, अगर आपने नामों को या nouns को match करना है, तो then you can have a capital character as the first character and then one or more small characters. So basically, square brackets के साथ भी you can combine this plus quantifier and then that's going to give you these matches. So let's say we try in our text to see how many nouns are there. We start with A, which is of course going to give us the capitals, and then one small letter followed by multiple ones. But it appears that it's not giving us all of the...
सर A to B किया हुआ आपने.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, A to Z. Yeah, now it's going to give us the all of the nouns or complete words back, which start with the uppercase.
मतलब एक word, complete word होगा सिर्फ.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to give us a substring, जिसका पहला character is going to be a capital alphabet.
Yes.
Then all others will be smaller alphabets, repeated. So उनकी length आप देख रहे हैं कि it could vary definitely. Just imagine कि ये करने के लिए हमें अगर code लिखना पड़े, तो it's going to be really complex. लेकिन regular expression से it's very very handy. You try. I think ये हम कर चुके हैं. But हमने तो किया था ना /t. Can you write
Yes.
another alternate expression to find these 4 numbers in the text?
बट सर क्वेश्चन है
Yeah.
अभी तक हमने लाइक जो क्वांटिफायर्स किए हैं वो तो लाइक फिर अगर हम प्लस लगाते हैं तो वो
Yeah.
तो जितने मर्जी डिजिट्स दे देगा.
Yes.
अगर हमें स्पेसिफिक 4 चाहिए तो हम उसके लिए क्वांटिफायर कैसे यूज करेंगे?
वो हम आगे देखते हैं. लेकिन अभी जो हमने एक्सरसाइज करनी है उसमें the answer is 0 to 9. You repeat that 4 times because that's a different class. Like it's the same class as /t, but different way to write it. And then you have a minus, and then you have 7 times that, and then I think.
इंस्टेड अगर हम मल्टीपल वाला लगा देते फिर
Sorry.
जो हमने पिछला यूज किया था जो पूरी सबस्ट्रिंग पे काम कर जाता था, अगर हम सेकंड वाले जो हमने 7 टाइम रिपीट किया उसकी जगह
Yeah.
हम मल्टीपल वाला आगे लगा दें.
Like आप ये डिलीट करके यहाँ पे स्टार लगाना चाह रहे हो,
यस.
तो फिर आप देखोगे डेट भी आ गई अंदर. It gives us the wrong answer, right?
हाँ, we would need a range. ठीक है.
A precise number, not range.
ओके.
हमें exactly 7 digits ही चाहिए. So you cannot put a star there. Right, so that's the naive solution basically. There's a shorter way to do that, and that's again, which means अगर आप curly brackets लगाओ और उसके अंदर number लिखो, for example किसी भी digit के साथ, so that means कि you need to repeat this 4 times exactly, and then you repeat this digit 7 times exactly, which we'll see later on. Actually, अगर हम इसको अभी as a sneak peek करके देख लें, /d, you know to repeat it 4 times exactly, and then minus sign, because that's the format of our phone number, and then we have 7 digits. We repeat those 7 times, and then we get all of the phone numbers in the text. This pipe means or. So अगर आप करते हैं cat, pipe, dog, it means either match a cat or a dog. Yes, no, maybe matches any of these basically. So this is a pipe sign. This is not a /. You have to keep that in mind. Parentheses जब आप लगाते हैं तो you create groups of patterns. अब groups क्या है exactly वो हम थोड़ा सा डिटेल से तब बात करेंगे इसके बारे में जब हम actual coding कर रहे होंगे. They're used to organize your sub patterns. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. So यहाँ पे आपने group बनाया, cat or dog, and S question mark. What is that going to match?
It's going to be cats or dogs.
But cat or dog also, because S is an optional.
Only yes. Okay.
Yeah. So A, B, अब आपने ग्रुप के अंदर डाल दिया और आपने प्लस जो है वो जब अप्लाई किया तो दैट्स गोइंग टू अप्लाई टू द एंटायर ग्रुप, व्हिच मींस के दिस इज गोइंग टू रिपीट A B A B A B at least one or multiple times. So exactly like that ha, and then ha means ke it's going to match these characters in the sequence. यहाँ पे आपने grouping create की है, आपने exactly like you're talking about 2 halves of the phone numbers just like before. पहले हमने किया था without the group, यहाँ पे हमने इसको डाल दिया group. Now what's the difference between a group and not a group? So for example, let me go back to our quick little example. So let's say यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो कि हम digits return कर रहे हैं, right? And it's giving us phone numbers. But watch what happens when I wrap this 2 pieces inside 2 groups. So this is one group and this is 2 group, second group. अब आप देखो यहाँ पे जो groups हैं इसने जो return किया match 1, it's the entire string, okay? And then group 1 के अंदर it returned the first piece, and group 2 के अंदर it returned the second piece. So programmatically आप जो patterns की substrings return होंगी उसमें से भी आप pieces को extract कर सकते हैं using groups. So this is a handy dandy way to do that. So for example, अगर आपने ये @ali_codes के अंदर आपने देखना है कि ये underscore से पहले first name क्या आ रहा है, for example, और @ के बाद, then how do you write that? It's going to be @ sign, where, yeah. And then you create a group, and then you say it's going to be a word and followed by an underscore, and then followed by codes, for example, because codes you're not interested in. This is the only thing that you're interested in, the name. So it gives you the match, the entire thing, followed by the group that you can separately extract in the code. तो जितने मर्जी आप ग्रुप्स बना सकते हैं यहाँ पे. So for example, अली कोड्स की बजाय अली प्रोग्रामिंग अगर यहाँ पे होता, for example, तो यहाँ पे 2 ग्रुप्स बना दिए which you can retrieve in coding. In simple like operational terms में तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, लेकिन प्रोग्रामिंग के perspective से it's going to give you more data than when you create groups here. But also you can apply quantifiers to these groups, and then these groups will be repeated. That's another consequence of groups. You can check this out later. But what I'm going to do is, let's say email हम extract करते हैं as an example. So how do we extract an email from there? Or let's say I want the name. I want to retrieve the name from the email also. Or इसकी domain I don't care about, जो @ के sign के बाद आता है. Which means कि I would probably use groups here. So how do we retrieve emails?
Like @ से जो पहले होता है वो हमारा नेम है, तो उसको हम as a group consider कर सकते हैं.
Yeah. So let's say हम यहाँ पे लिखते हैं W+, which means give me words followed by the @ sign. आपके पास emails अब आना शुरू हो गए हैं. That we don't care about the domain dot, उसके बाद जो sorry, it had to be plus, and also needs to be plus. ये हमारे पास emails आ गए. But we don't care about like these two. We only care about the name. So we can put that into group. और also हम देखना चाह रहे हैं किस इंस्टीट्यूट से है या किस कंपनी से है, तो we can also create another group there and then it's going to give us the username and also the institute in the second group. So group number 0, remember, is always the entire pattern. It's a substring you return at the end. The group number 1 is the first one. The group number 2 is the second one. अगर आप इसको सिर्फ एक ग्रुप करेंगे, then it's going to give you just one username. और अगर आपने देखना है कि is it like इसकी end extension क्या है, then it's going to give you whether it's an edu or com. अगर आपने तीनों देखने हैं, then you put everything in a group, like these 3 groups separately. Then it's going to give you the 3 bits of information in pieces like 3 groups. G, you try. So basically it could be any greeting. It could be hi, it could be hello, it could be hey. So आपने देखना है कि आपके text में कोई greeting किसी किस्म की है इन तीनों में से, तो then you return that greeting. और greeting आप देख रहे हो कि it could be followed optionally by an exclamation marks, or it could be multiple exclamation marks. How do you write that? So Abdul Rahman ka solution hai, that is, Abdul Rahman ka solution is this. So basically hi or hello or hey, इनमें से कोई एक match करना है आपने, followed by 0 or more exclamation marks. Sure, yeah, seems fine. So that's basically the solution.
ये काफी ज़्यादा वेग नहीं है?
कौन सा? ये वाला?
नहीं, काफी ज़्यादा हार्ड कोडेड टाइप.
हाँ, लेकिन जब आपको प्रिसीजन चाहिए होती है तो फिर आपको हार्ड कोड करना पड़ता है. जब आपको जनरल चाहिए होते हैं काफ़ी सारे मैच करते हुए, तो देन यू कुड यूज़ अ जनरल पैटर्न. जितना स्पेसिफिक चाहिए होगा उतना ज़्यादा हार्ड कोडेड होगा, जितना जनरल होगा उतना ज़्यादा. अगेन अगर हम एग्जांपल इसकी देखें, 3 letter characters is far more general as compared to C.T. It could be a cat or it could be cut, right? So this is more specific. We are restricting some characters. जबकि जो पहले वाला था, that is more general. We are not restricting anything. It can be anything here. Great. So how do we implement all of that stuff in Python? There is a module in Python that's called re, or regex के ऊपर भी जब हम Python हमने select किए as a you know, what's that called?
Engine?
Flavor. Yeah, flavor means engine. तो पीछे से RE module ही चल रहा है इसके. अब RE module basically इससे पहले कि आप देखो, you need to know about raw strings. So जब आप string डालते हैं Python के अंदर, जब आप backslash डालते हैं, कोई character डालते हैं, तो Python considers that as a special character. या escape character भी इसको कहते हैं. /n हो गया, /t हो गया, right? But regular expressions के अंदर that's not acceptable. We need backslash as a literal, not as an escape character. उसके लिए we use raw strings and we put an R before the string, and this is super critical. जो आपकी regular expressions हैं Python में, उसके पहले हम always we use R. और अगर आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे string, उसके पहले भी आपको R यहाँ पे नजर आ रहा है. So change delimiter, वो आप change कर सकते हैं जो भी आपने choose करना depending on the language. So you import the RE module. This is your text, and this is your regular expression. And then you call the search method, which takes the pattern and which takes the string, and that gives you the result back, right? So result is some object. It's going to be none if it didn't succeed. So a result.group is going to give you the entire pattern. Result.start is going to give you the starting position of that pattern in the entire string. So for example, ये जो phone number है, ये index number 5 से शुरू हो रहा है, और and then goes till index number 17, just before 70. So index number 17 is the space here. So it goes up till index number 16.
सर ये जो ग्रुप वाला था, ये ग्रुप 0 होगा टेक्निकली?
Yes. अगर आप parameter नहीं देंगे, this is going to return group 0. तो group 0 means के entire substring जो pattern match हुआ है. How about कि अगर आपको सारे के सारे like आपने पैटर्न दिया और उसके रिजल्टिंग बहुत सारी सबस्ट्रिंग्स आपको रिटर्न हुई है, तो हर किसी के ऊपर आपने अगर आइटरेट करना है, तो देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड फाइंड आइटर. find iter is going to return all of the substrings, and then you will be able to iterate over that iterator, list of matches basically. And exactly आपने अगर display करना, for example, that substring, then you can use the group method which we just saw. और कहाँ पे आ रहा है, we could say it's at match dot like the start function कि आप substring में या text में किस जगह पे, किस position पे हो. A find all is going to give you an exact list. So this is not going to give you a list. This is going to give you an iterator which you can use in a for loop only. But this is going to give you a list of all of the matches basically, and then you can use that list anywhere you like.
और ये फिर ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं ना, फॉर आई इन री डॉट फाइंड ऑल, फाइंड ईटर की जगह।
जी आप कर सकते हैं, sure, because it's a list, you can do that. But at this point, it doesn't really matter because we are just doing P2, but this may be a bit slower as compared to the find iter one. Again, we are not very looking into performance at this point. Right, अब आप यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं कि you have made groups. So this is a date which you want to extract. Let's say you want to extract the year, you want to extract the month and the day. And you can easily do that so basically आपने groups बना लिया, and then when you do group 0, it's going to give you the entire thing. Group 1, it's going to give you the year. Group 2, it's going to give you just the month, and then group 3 is going to give you the day back, the third group. So यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं, यहाँ पे आपको ना specifically याद रखना पड़ रहा है कि okay, group number 1 was year, ठीक है. Group number 2 was, month. So you have to explicitly remember. So just like in जब हमने डिक्शनरीज शुरू करने लगे थे तो हमने बात की थी कि जब आप लिस्ट के अंदर कुछ चीज़ डालते हैं तो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द इंडेक्स, जिस इंडेक्स आपने रखा है. बट डिक्शनरीज के अंदर क्योंकि कीज वर नेम्स, तो इट्स वेरी इजी टू रिमेंबर. सिमिलरली यू कैन नेम दीज ग्रुप्स, एंड द वे टू डू इट इज दिस स्पेशल सिंटैक्स called question mark and then P, and then you can name the group, and then you can proceed with the defining the group. So you can then access these groups by names. It's just a syntactic sugar. It's just nothing complicated here. Apni sir, a piece of text paste karna hai before any group, and then you name it, and then that you'll be able to use that name anywhere. Is it so far clear? The search basically function and the group function.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Search and replace, that's also a pretty neat feature. So basically what it looks like something called sub. It takes a pattern, it takes its replacement कि आपने इसको किस चीज़ से replace करना है, and then it takes the text. ये 3 parameters ले रहा है basically, and then it returns the text that matches the replaced entire text आपको देता है. So for example, आपके पास एक text called office contact, and then there's a phone number which you want to hide, and then the front desk. So basically, now what you do is you take any digit in the text and you replace it with a star, and you give the entire text, and what you get back is the entire text with all of the digits hidden. But I don't like this method, because यहाँ पे अगर date भी हो या कोई और number हो, तो it's going to hide that as well. I just want to hide the phone number. So how do I change this?
हम फोन नंबर का पैटर्न दे सकते हैं. फोन नंबर जहाँ पर भी मिलेगा then we could replace that with like stars.
Yeah, exactly. इस पर आपको ये
and
पूरा का पूरा यहाँ पे देना पड़ेगा.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. ठीक है. You can have, extra white spaces in text, for example, and extra new lines, वगैरह वगैरह. So you need to remove those, and you can also do that. So basically, you need to search the white spaces, and then you replace with the single space, and the result is going to be the text with all of that removed with the single space in between the words. So that's a cleaner text. This is a really neat way to clean a text. You try. This is a text, right? It has got names and numbers. So extract all scores as a list of strings, number 1. And then print each student's name and the scores one per line. And then replace every score with a question mark in the text. How do you do that? Now, let's do number 1.
फर्स्ट वन के लिए हम फाइंड ऑल का फंक्शन यूज कर सकते हैं.
Okay. Like उसमें क्या लिखोगे आप? Find all, can you write the entire
ओके ठीक है.
function के जो parameters हैं?
हम वो क्या कहते हैं, बैक सीक्वेंस डी प्लस करके प्लस कर देंगे ताकि ऑनवर्ड वर्ड से हो जाए, एंड हम उसको कहते हैं टेक्स्ट से रिप्लेस करते रहेंगे. re dot I can just type it down. Wait.
Sure. Abdullah, आपने ये regular expression भेजी थी which I missed earlier. So this is probably going to match a lot of other words, not just the greetings.
yeah, जब आप वे कह रहे थे ना to be more hard coded, तो उससे पहले मैंने भेजी थी. So
Okay, ठीक. No, that's okay. Okay, Shazil has sent something.
Yes.
So basically, आप कह रहे हो कि find all the digits in the text, and then scores is going to print the list of scores. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. And what about the other ones? Print each student name and their score. So basically, आपके पास अब इसकी regular expression हम क्या लिखेंगे? It could be a name, then followed by a space, then followed by either you can hardcode score, or you can just skip it as a generic word, and then a space, and then digits. इसको आप group में divide कर लो, you'll get the name, and its marks, his marks basically. तो groups पे आप कर सकते हो get. Or you can, use this exact thing here.
Yeah, I was okay.
तो अलग से भी कर सकते हैं ताकि ये जो नाम है वो कैपिटल लेटर से स्टार्ट हो रहे हैं।
Sure. Yeah, sure. So basically आप अलग से कर सकते हो कि नाम अगर आप you need to make sure कि नाम capital letter से start हो और बीच में it could be scored, it could be earned, any generic word. तो वो भी आप कर सकते skip. तो उस केस में then you have to rewrite this a little bit and then scored की बजाय आपके पास क्या आ जाएगा?
Asterisk?
नहीं, asterisk isolation में काम नहीं करता, किसी कैरेक्टर के ऊपर लगता है वो या ग्रुप के ऊपर लगता है.
Oh, yeah.
/w star.
Yeah.
I
यानी-
sent a solution. Can you check that?
Okay, sure. Find all, print scores. Find all. अब आपने groups बना लिए. It's going to find the names and the
Numbers.
digit. Yeah. And then it simply prints the pairs. Can you print the pairs and see what it looks like?
Okay.
It's going to basically give you a list of tuples. जितने भी groups
Yes.
हैं, it's going to give you the list of that tuples, essentially.
There you go.
So this is essentially what it looks like. अगर आप pairs को print करें तो. And then you can extract. So you can see how easy it is to extract information from text using regular expressions. And then we can use the sub method to replace the digits with the question marks. And it's going to give you the text back. But this is part 2. And in this part, we talk about how the regular expressions work internally. उसका code Python में, for example, कैसे लिखा होता है approximately. Well, जो हम करेंगे, this is not how Python works, which we'll see at the end. But generally, under the hood, what's going on. And this is a very simplified version of what we are going to see. State machine, सबसे पहले आपको पता होना ज़रूरी कि what is that? So state machine is essentially a system which can be at once. It has a bunch of states. It has a start state. It has a end state, and then it can be at exactly one state at a time. Multiple states पे नहीं जा सकती है. सिर्फ एक वक्त में एक स्टेट पे होगी और एक स्टेट से दूसरी स्टेट पे कैसे जाती है बेसिकली you give it input and based on the input it jumps from one state to another state. For example, we can model our door using a state machine. When the door is open, it could, you can also close it. Ab door ka open hona ya close hona, that's a state. Or what's the input? That's when you open it by pushing it or you close it by pulling it, for example, depending on ke door bahar khulta hai ke andar khulta hai. You can represent that state machine using a nice little diagram. There are these circles, they are the states or the arrows going from one state to another state, depending on the input. That's called a transition. So you have a bunch of states transitioning to other states. So for example, you start at red light. Our timer, it's 5 minutes. The 5 minutes ke baad, you're going to go to the green state, right? You don't see an arrow that goes to yellow state. And then from green state, your timer expires, you go to the yellow state. And then yellow state timer expired, you go to the red state. And this cycles basically. This doesn't have any end state. Or आप देख रहे हो कि yellow से you cannot go back to green or yellow से you can go to red. Actually, green से you cannot go back to red. And red से you cannot go directly to yellow. So there are many arrows missing there, which means that movement is restricted. So if we walk through, you start at red and you get an input of timer, which means that 5 minutes expired, you go to green, and then 5 minutes expired, you go to yellow, and then from yellow 5 minutes expired, you go back to red, and this goes into a cycle. Another example, vending machine आपने use की होगी. So vending machine में you initially there are states. Let's say आपके पास drink है and drink costs 30 rupees, and it accepts 10 rupees coins. I think this should be note. We don't have a coin, right, of 10 rupees.
Nope.
No, we don't.
मुझे लगता है कि कभी था ये, कभी भी नहीं आया. Yeah, am I hallucinating?
Yeah, I think एक दफा आया था.
Yeah.
It was the 50 rupees of 10 जो limited edition था.
अब आपकी vending machine जो है, you can represent the states with कि आपने अभी तक कितने पैसे accept कर लिए हैं. And ये जो double circle state आपको नजर आ रही है, this is the final state, the accept state भी इसको कहते हैं. So शुरू में let's go do a walkthrough. आपके पास जो input sequence है, that is coin, right? So you input a coin, you are at state 0, you go to state 10. अभी तक आपने 10 रुपीज एंटर कर लिए हैं और फिर आप जब इस स्टेट पे हो अब आप जब तक कॉइन एंटर नहीं करोगे आप इसी स्टेट पे रहोगे बिकॉज देयर इज नो अदर एरो गोइंग एनीवेयर सो देन यू एंटर कॉइन you go to the next state and again you're not जब तक आप कॉइन नहीं डालोगे it's not going to dispense you still at this state and then at this state अब इसको याद है कि आप 2 कॉइन्स पीछे डाल चुके हैं वो आपसे दोबारा से 3 कॉइन्स नहीं मांगेगा and then when you enter the last coin it goes to the dispense state and at that point your drink comes out. Okay, can you draw a quick little state machine for a door with the states called open, closed and locked and the inputs बेसिकली जो आप दे सकते हो दैट्स ओपन क्लोज लॉक अनलॉक सो आप कह रहे हो कि लॉक अनलॉक ओपन नो दीज आर इनपुट्स सो आपकी जो सर्कल्स हैं देयर नीड टू बी स्टेट्स
अच्छा मैंने भेजी है
ओके ओके
राइट और जो एरोज हैं एरोज के ऊपर यू गेट इनपुट्स सो आप एक स्टेट पे हो एंड देन डिपेंडिंग ऑन द इनपुट you jump to another state. Okay, let's me check Abdul Rahman. Okay, so Abdul Rahman has sent. What's the start state? What's the end state? Let's say up a closed door ho.
क्लोज वाली थी yes.
Okay, you open it, you go to open. And closed के ऊपर there is no lock. अगर आप closed door को lock करना चाहो.
okay
So these are 2 states basically that are repeating here.
सर ये कर सकते हैं हम ये कर सकते हैं कि क्लोज्ड को और लॉक को हम आपस में लाइक एक और एरो ऐड कर सकते हैं मिडिल में
या करके दिखाएं या दिखाएं आपने 2 states जो है ना इसको repeat किया हुआ है closed को.
okay let me
You're probably in the right direction, but here these states need to be unique. Give it another shot. Yes.
सर यहाँ पे क्लोज से लॉक का होगा एक
Yeah, that's pretty close actually. Yeah. So close से आप open करते you go to open and open से close करके you go to close state and then lock and unlock. Yeah. So let's check the solution. So that's it. When you're at the lock state, you unlock, you go to the close state because when it's already locked, the door cannot be open, right?
yes
And then when it's closed, you open the door, you go to the open state. And at that point, when it's already closed and you lock it, you cannot go to the open state. It has to be closed and then you go to the lock state and so on, basically. So that's the simple idea here. And the key insight is कि जो आपकी regular expression, again, I'm being extremely vague and I'm not precise. And जो precise topic है वो आप आगे course में करोगे which is called theory of automata. So here everything that I say is very vague and it's going to be through intuition only. So I'm not going to teach you any formal procedure to convert a regular expression to a state machine, but using intuition you can easily do that because in the exam it's going to be very, very simple regular expressions. So the idea is that you can convert any regular expression to a state machine. The way to do it is states become the positions of the regular expression in the pattern and the inputs that become the character of the text and the accept state is when the pattern is fully matched. And how do you know the pattern is fully matched? Basically, I will अपनी regular expression की end पे देखते हो that character is the same as the text that we have matched so far, then that's fully matched. So let's take a look at this example. Very simple. A plus. अगर हमने सारी strings match करनी है, that means A plus. So what we do is we create states from the positions. So basically it's going to be A, at least one A going from the start state to another state, which is basically, we can name these states anything. These are just temporary names, 0 and 1. And then यहाँ पे अब आप you can have more A's. So you put an arrow and that goes back to the same state. अब यहाँ पे चलते जाते हो, right? So यहाँ पे let's say you give it a string with 4 A's. तो अब क्या होगा? Start state से by उसने A accept किया. जब A के accept कर चुके तो बाकी कितने A's रह गए आपके पास text में पीछे? 3. आप एक consume करोगे, you go back to one state, 2 पीछे रह गए, फिर you consume another one picture रह गया, then you consume another one, you're at the end state and your text is consumed completely. So that means this string is accepted. Otherwise, अगर आप इस state पे ना हो या फिर कोई और character हो A की बजाय, तो then you reject the string. So here's the walkthrough with 3 A's. Again, you start with A and your text string आपके पास यहाँ पे आपका pointer है शुरू में. You consume A, you go to string 1, you go to state 1, right? And that's again the accept state. अब accept state पे जाते ही like जैसे आप accept state पे जाओगे तो you don't terminate your program there. There could still be words coming in. So अब यहाँ पे A consume करते हो, you're back at this, this finished state. Then you consume the last one, which is a valid character. यहाँ से transition is going to itself. You accept that, and you're still at the end state, and then If that's the case, you consume all of the string and you're still at the finished state, then you match the string. Kind of, okay, what's...
मुझे static वाला समझ नहीं आया, जो star वाला था.
That.
Okay, star wala basically is just it's since the start state, अगर आप कोई भी एक consume like नहीं करते तो it's going to give you the empty string. It's finished right here. Going to finish right here. अगर आप बीच में a डालते हो, let's say a and a, so it's going to work on an empty string. No a's. You know, you start from here and you end right here without any a's. So this is accepted. And then you have two a's. Start आपने किया, a के consume किया, फिर आपने दूसरा a consume किया, आपकी string सारी consume हो गई, and where are you at the finished state? So this pattern is accepted by this regular expression, the state machine.
ठीक है.
अगर आप plus करते हो, for example, the plus के अंदर फिर you need to have exactly one a. So you cannot do you cannot make this as a finished state also. So जब आप यहाँ पे करेंगे a, तो since अब इस case में when you put in an empty string, it's going to accept that. But we don't want that. We want at least one a. So we make an arrow and we say there has to be exactly at least one a input, and then it goes to some other state. और वहाँ पे जाके we could consume. Our purpose is to consume all of the characters. And then
for example अगर हमें यहाँ तो उन्होंने कहा ना at least one a, कोई चीज़ होती है अगर हमें कहते हैं कि at least two a होने चाहिए, तो वो इसका
Sure. So for example, अगर आपके पास at least two a होने चाहिए, तो you are here at this state, you consume an a, you go to another state, and then you consume another a, you go to another state 3, state 2, right? And then you can start consuming all the rest of the remaining a's. So यहाँ पे अगर आप देते हो string, for example, a, you're here, you consume that, you go to state 1, and then you consume this one, you go to state 2, and you consume this one, you're back at state 2. And since your string is completely consumed and you're at the finished state, your string is accepted. But as a counter example, let's say you had a, b, and a. So अब क्या होगा? You consume this, you go to state 1, you consume b, but there is no arrow with the b going out. So you immediately reject this. So basically this string will not be matched.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
But why are we looping at the end? अगर जैसे let's say 3 a's है, उस drawing को दोबारा खोलना चाहते हैं पहले की थी. Go up.
एक मिनट है मैं.
Yes.
This one? This one. Okay.
Yeah, let's work with this. अब जैसे 3 a's से तो हमने एक a किया, then second state पे दूसरा a किया, and then third पे हमने उसको loop क्यों नहीं किया? Why would we not just do third वाला state and then that would also be a?
यहाँ पे?
Yes.
No, but the pattern could be like a with many a's there. हमने सिर्फ 3 a's तो नहीं मैच करना है ना. अगर आपने exactly 3 a's मैच करना है, let's say we want to create a state machine which matches exactly 3 a's, not 2, not 4. तो फिर हम क्या करेंगे? 0, you read a, you go to state 1, you read another a, you go to state 2, and then you read another a, you go to state 3, and that's our finished state. And here we need to make sure कि जो हमारे पास character जहाँ से हम आ रहे हैं that is a, otherwise we reject the string. So this state machine exacts exactly 3 a's. अगर आप 2 a's डालेंगे
वो second पे रुक जाएगा.
तो second पे आके रुक जाएगा. Your input is finished, but you're not at the finished state, so it's going to reject the input. Right? अगर for example आप डालते हो 4 a's 3 की बजाय, तो third पे आएगा. तो third पे there is no going like an arrow going out with the input a, so it's also going to reject this. Right? Okay, you try this. Create a state machine which is going to accept this regular expression. Again, a lot of this has to do with intuition at this point. I'm not going to describe formal method, which you probably study in Automata course.
सर मैंने भेजा, चेक कीजिएगा.
So Abdul Rahman has sent his solution. This plus is a meta character. not a literal.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's a group, right?
सर मैं भेज रहा हूँ वो देख
Sure. Okay, it has a couple of problems. So for example, आपके पास जो states हैं उसके ऊपर input needs to be one single character. This is not a single character. This is not a single character.
इसका क्या मतलब
मतलब ये आप कैरेक्टर पे कैरेक्टर स्ट्रिंग को कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं ना, A और B और C. सो आपने इसके ऊपर ये पूरी की पूरी वो डाल दी है सब रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन एरो के ऊपर, राइट? So you have to have exactly one character here. Okay, let me try. देखें, सबसे पहले जो चीज़ आप नोट करें and look inside the innermost group. अब आप देख रहे हैं कि this is not a square bracket, right? This is okay. Abdul Rahman has shared another. I can like review before I explain. It looks fine, sure, but इसमें कुछ issues हैं. So आप देख रहे हो कि this is a group, which means there's a star here, which means कि none of these could be in the string. It could be an empty string there. So empty string is accepted, ABC accepted, A, B, 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 C is accepted, and ABC, ABC is accepted, and so on. Okay, let's go to the solution. So the solution is this. It was non-trivial, sure. I mean, abhi aap log, you're still in the second semester, so it's okay. It's not going to be this difficult in the final exam at all. So ab 0 pe ho, you accept A. Ab aap dekh rahe ho, pehle hum andar ko tackle kar rahe hain, and then you accept one B, and then you accept multiple Bs, and then you accept one C, and that's basically the finished state also, the end state. अब आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ पे the start state and state is the same because now it has to accept an empty string. Okay, how do we actually code it? जब आप देखें इस simple state machine को अगर हमने code करना है तो all we have to do is we need to remember कि हम किस state पे हैं, which is usually through a variable, and then we start consuming all of the single, like every single character in our input string, which is S, जो हमारा pattern है जिसके अंदर से हम चीजें for example देखना चाह रहे हैं, जिसे मैच करना चाह रहे हैं. अगर आप state 0 पे हो, which is here, और अगर आपके पास character जो है input that is A, तो you go to state 1, and that's it. Otherwise you simply return false क्योंकि character A की बजाय कुछ और आ गया था वहाँ पे. And then else if you are already at state 1, your input is a character A, you stay at state 1. Otherwise, you return false. And at the end, when you have consumed all of the string and you're still at state 1, it means that you have successfully accepted the pattern. Is this code does it make sense?
Yes, ये basically flag की तरह है ना, हमने flag लगा
Yeah. Exactly. So ये manage कर रहा है, if else आपकी basically जो conditions है वो manage कर रही हैं कि आप currently किस state पे हैं. और आपके पास उस स्टेट में इनपुट आती है, then you move to the next state, and this loop basically goes on for the entire text. इसका एक alternate भी है, and alternate is something, a variant. This is called transition. So transition is a dictionary जिसके अंदर हमने nicely mention कर दिया है. If you're at state 0 and if you get an input A, you move to state 1. So these keys are these tuples, and the value is essentially कि किस state पे आप जा रहे हैं. So your input is 1. Your current state is 1, your input is the character, and then you move to the next state. So accept state abhi kaun si hai? That's just 1. And how do you match? Now the algorithm is going to be very simple. For all of the characters in the string, if your transition function, basically this transition is not available in the set of transitions, which means that there could be an invalid state or an invalid character, you simply return false. Otherwise, you get the next transition. और नेक्स्ट ट्रांजिशन आप कैसे गेट करेंगे? हमारे पास स्टेट ऑलरेडी है और हमारे पास कैरेक्टर कौन सा इनपुट आ रहा है वो यहाँ से हमारे पास आ गया, एंड वी गेट द नेक्स्ट स्टेट, एंड देन वी स्टार्ट पेयरिंग दैट स्टेट विद द नेक्स्ट कैरेक्टर. एंड अगर at the end that state is in the accept state, we simply return. अब यहाँ पे the beauty of this algorithm is that this algorithm is going to remain exactly the same for all possible for a lot of actually transitions. So आपने अगर कोई नई state machine बनानी है तो आपने सिर्फ इसकी dictionary को change करना है और this remains the same. So this may remind you of the wave function collapse algorithm that we did.
Rules को define करना.
Yeah, exactly. So उसमें rule change करते थे, algorithm stays the same. Pretty much the same here. This is also very neat and simplified as compared to the previous if conditions. So इसमें अगर state machine आपकी बड़ी होती है, this is going to become really big mess. As opposed to that, the algorithm stays compact. लेकिन फिर आपकी transitions थोड़ी सी ज़रा expand कर देंगी. The difference is, version is very, जो if else वाला था, that's very explicit and that is easy to read at first for the beginners, but it grows very huge for big patterns. And if you want to change the regular expression, you have to actually change the code. Version B, which is the dictionary version. So उसमें अगर आपने change करनी है state diagram, so you just change the dictionary and we'll simply use version B for the rest of the lecture. If you want to match, for example, A plus B plus, how would you modify the dictionary of our state machine? So for example, is code के अंदर the only thing that you need to change is the dictionary to define a new state machine, right? So अगर हमारे पास A plus B plus है, how would we do that? So A plus B plus की जो state diagram बनेगी, that's going to be 0. You go to A, 1, you consume A's, 1 or more A, right? And then what do you have? You have at least one B.
B plus.
B plus up.
So at least one B, no? So you consume B, you go to state 2, and then you start consuming B's, and this is your end state.
Right.
Right. So the transition looks like 0 state पे हो और आपने A read किया, you go to
1.
इसको अगर मैं dictionary form में लिखता हूँ तो you go to 1 exactly. And then अगर आप 1 पे हो, आपने A read किया, you
1.
go to 1. अब यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं कि there is no 0B.
1B होगा 2B होगा
1B है, हमारे पास 0B नहीं है. Right? So अब क्योंकि 0B हमारे पास नहीं है, so this means that's an invalid transition. So invalid transitions के लिए this is the check that returns false. So यहाँ पे 0B जब आप डालेंगे, this is going to return false. So this is the dictionary that you want to update, and your machine is going to start accepting completely new regular expressions. Just quickly, इसके बाद हम क्या करेंगे? This 1B and then
2B
2B.
2B that goes to
2
2, and that's it. 4 transitions basically. जितने arrows हैं उतनी transitions आपके पास. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. So just by defining this, you completely not rewritten, but you redefine the output, the characteristics of your current algorithm. So which one do you prefer? The if condition wala ya phir the dictionary wala?
Dictionary wala.
second one yeah
Okay. So yeah, that's the solution basically. A cat
नहीं,
and
except except states में बस खाली 2 होगा 1 नहीं होगा सर
अब 1 पे accept नहीं करोगे ना, 1 पे accept
नहीं
करोगे
होगा।
तो then the B's will be ignored, which we do not want. We want A plus B plus. A के बाद at least एक P तो होना चाहिए.
oh yeah okay yeah
So this is a simple, regular state diagram for a regular expression cat or dog. And I actually encourage you to do it yourself before moving on to this. I'm going to skip some slides. So this is hard coded. So that's why we're going 2 directions CAT, and then depending on the character D or G, for example, and then you go to the state. Yeah, we have those states allowed. We can those finished states, but this is also fine. This is how it walks through, which I'm not going to go into. And इसकी अगर हम transition like dictionary बनाएंगे तो कैसे बनेगी? Like at state 0, you accept C, you go to state 1. And then at state 0, you accept D, you go to state 4, and so on. So that's exactly what it is. Algorithm remains exactly the same. So just accept state, and that's 3. Only table change, nothing else. You can trace these words, these substrings on the state machine on this diagram later after the video and see how they behave. And when do you get accept, when do you get the reject, right? And now we are pretty much at the end of the lecture. So state machines, where are these? The applications, compilers आपके जो आप code लिखते हैं. So what you get is it compiles, it knows कि अब कौन सा variable है, कौन सा, like where's the if condition, where's the for loop going, and so on. And it breaks it down into pieces like tokens. और आपकी गेम्स के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ होती है स्टेट मशीन्स, आपकी एआई के अंदर यूज़ होती है करेक्टर स्टेट्स, लाइक जंप कर रहा है, आइडल कर रहा है. आपने गेम्स खेली होंगी तो उसमें कैरेक्टर पहले आपका आइडल मोड में इधर उधर देख रहा होता है, लेकिन जैसे आप उससे करीब जाते हो तो इट बिकम्स अलर्ट. एंड देन जब आप उसको छेड़ते हो then it's going to start attacking you. और जब आप दूर चले जाते हो, for example किसी चीज़ की building के अंदर चले जाते हो, you go out of his range, so then that character becomes idle again, right? You must have experienced this before. And one last thing, so if you run this code, and this is a regular expression basically, what does this do basically? A plus and then entire thing plus and then B. So it matches a string of A's, any string of A's followed by B. Let's say आपके पास है A plus and that's a plus and then B. What does this match? What kind of string is this going to match?
A plus, so like it could be one A or more A's.
Yes. So A. ये group के अंदर है. But
Right.
you're repeating this thing again here.
फिर वो रिकरिंग 3 जो है वो भी रिपीट एक एज अ सिंगल वो होगा लाइक
Yeah. And then you have a B. So अगर आप यहाँ पे
सेम थिंग हम ऐसे नहीं कर सकते like A plus B, because like जब A plus है वो सारे A's की स्ट्रिंग का ठिकाना ही लेगा, तो फिर सेकंड प्लस का फायदा.
right? And when you run this code on Python, it is going to crash your computer. खास तौर पे when the number of A's is at least 30. इसको 40 करेंगे, 30 पे it took my computer 17-18 seconds to fail this, you know. So basically it's looking for a bunch of A's followed by B, but we have given it an input text, bunch of A's followed by an X. So this regular expression is going to fail, right? Again, the amount of time that it's going to take to fail is really big. So why? Because ऊपर हमने देखा, the code that we have written is pretty simple. It's just a single for loop and 30 characters. So for loop, even if this works on millions and millions of characters, it should give an answer in a reasonable amount of time. Let's say a few seconds, but that's not happening here. And for example, 25 A's के लिए you have a really small time. लेकिन जैसे अगर आप A को थोड़ा सा N को थोड़ा सा बढ़ाते हैं, number of A's, तो आप देख रहे हो कि time exponentially बढ़ता जा रहा है. So extra A is roughly doubling the time. और ये हम बात करें Python के regular RE module की. So what's going on over here? And the answer is, lo and behold, the Python's regular expression module is a recursive backtracking algorithm. It's not a for loop like we wrote. So when it fails, it backtracks and then it tries other groups or कितनी possibilities आपके पास हैं सारे groups की. And we saw in our backtracking lectures के there could be exponential number of possibilities, and it has to explore all of these group possibilities and then it fails. So it's an exponential number that it has to try, right? Kind of like this, it checks the one split. So basically इसने एक split check किया क्योंकि आगे तो B है ही नहीं ना, आगे तो X है. It's going to fail. Then it's going to check another split, and then it's going to check another split, and so on. It's a big number. हमने जो स्टेट मशीन लिखी भी उसमें दैट्स अ वेरी सिंपल फॉर लूप. आप देखेंगे जो बाकी लैंग्वेजेस हैं, लेट्स से गो का रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन पैकेज हो गया या फिर रस्ट का रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन पैकेज हो गया या गूगल की RE2 लाइब्रेरी भी होगी. सो दीज आर लीनियर, दीज यूज फॉर लूप, दे आर नॉट बैक ट्रैकिंग एल्गोरिदम्स. जबकि पाइथन के अंदर दैट एल्गोरिदम इज अ बैक ट्रैकिंग एल्गोरिदम. सो व्हाट्स द ट्रेड ऑफ? It's simple. So Python का बैक ट्रैकिंग एल्गोरिदम है, it's able to extract really, really complex regular expressions with a lot more features. As opposed to that, there's none of that in these libraries and also in our code that we wrote. So this is much more feature rich. लेकिन उसका फिर drawback है कि on special cases, it can go into it could crash, it could go into an exponential recursive loop there. So speed versus features. बल्कि this is a real world example. 2019 में Cloudflare में there was a certain moment जब their servers they start to spike at full capacity. और उसकी वजह से क्या आपको पता है कि Cloudflare जो है वो that's the backbone for pretty much all of the websites running out there.
recently भी तो हुआ था.
That may be different, but this thing here is especially related to the regular expressions. For example, Cloudflare जब डाउन हुआ था तो 27 मिनट के लिए या आधे पौने घंटे के लिए पूरा इंटरनेट खत्म हो गया था जो भी उस पर डिपेंड कर रहे थे. सो बहुत सारी साइट्स अफेक्ट हुई थी और उसका रूट कॉज क्या था? देयर वाज वन रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन रिटन बाय ह्यूमन दैट looked fine. Lekin it started that exponential backtracking loop that we saw with the Python case. So that's the reason people avoid anything recursive that is not a for loop or to put on the servers like that. So Python की regular expressions भी अगर आपने use करनी है, then you rather want to avoid that on a proper serious server with a lot of traffic, because it could explode into exponential computation. So this class of bug was, named as a regular expression denial of service. Just to, be careful here. You need to know कि under the hood, कौन सी regular expressions के tools किस तरह से, what's the structure of that? Either they are backtracking ones, recursive ones, or they are just simple ones. Simple ones, less features. Backtracking ones, a lot of features, but potential to take the entire internet along with them, down with them.
So what would be an example of a feature?
Like this one, back reference. So it matches the repeated words. Basically, आपने एक word डाला. You don't know what that word is, but when you're matching, let's say cat, and when you put a back reference, it's going to match the same word again, cat, or it's able to look ahead of characters, or it's also able to look behind the characters that it's already read. So these kind of features, they are not available in our code, of course, because हम तो एक character read कर रहे हैं और उसके ऊपर base करके फिर हम अगली state पे जा रहे हैं. We are not even considering अगले दो characters से पिछले दो characters, which this is doing.
Okay, that makes sense.
So to wrap up, today we did the concept of regular expressions, the Python RE module जिसको use करते हुए हम regular expressions लिख सकते हैं अपनी मर्जी के, and then under the hood, regular expressions, it's just a state machine. And we did the dictionary-based state machine algorithm, which is अगर आपने नई state machine implement करनी है, all you have to do is just change the dictionary, and that's about it. And the state machine is actually it's a bunch of states and a bunch of transitions. And on an input, you jump from one state to another state, and there's a finish start state, and then there could be multiple of finish states. And that was it for today. Thank you for joining, Abdul Rahman, Shazil, and Abdullah. See you guys next time. Dafis.
Khudafis.
Allah Hafiz.
I love this.